Welcome back to the morning show on Tobago Updates Television. We're just at 7:44 a.m. So if you need to get to work for 8 a.m. and drop the children off to school, you just have about 16 minutes. Remember to drive safely on our nation's roads to get there this morning. All right, this morning we continue conversations. This morning we're speaking with Mr. Rhondall Fields, and he's the president of the Fathers Association of Trinidad and Tobago. And we are talking about addressing cyberbullying on social media. Good morning, Mr. Fields, and welcome.
Morning. Thanks for having me. I'm glad to be here, Adanna. Nice to see you as usual.
Right, it's always a pleasure having you on our program, and we know once you're here to talk business, things that affect you primarily as a man and an advocate for men's rights here in Trinidad and Tobago, even and across the region. So we're starting this morning with cyberbullying on social media, and we'd like to see how that conversation rolls out.
I mean, definitely, cyberbullying is a big problem, and it's because it attacks, I think, all members of society. I mean, it doesn't distinguish or differentiate. Once you're able to use a social media device, you're either susceptible to, can be victim of, or can perpetrate cyberbullying upon others, or be victim, as I said before, of cyberbullying from others. And I think this loops into the whole discussion. I know a number of my directors had a discussion this week on our podcast pertaining to the page, Is This Your Man? There's also one called Is This Your Woman as well. And what we are seeing, the developments we're seeing coming out of this page, both of them, of course, on the one that started off with the one with Is This Your Man? And now we've seen that it's now transferred and even included women in the whole discussion as well. And they're seeing that there's a creation of a page where information is being posted, persons' pictures particularly, their name, their identity is being revealed, and serious allegations are being levied against them. And one of the reasons that we made a call definitely was to ensure that, I mean, there was some legitimacy, or even not legitimacy per se, but that there was some level of control brought to what is being broadcasted on this page. Apart from the liability of the admin themselves being brought up or being sued, or so to speak, there's also a real and serious fear. I received a message from one person this morning, and it was so horrendous to see what was posted on this is on the Is This Your Woman page. I got this one this morning, that's why I'm mentioning it. And the page posted the person and claims that they have videos of a sexual nature. They posted what they said the alleged person, who is supposed to be, as we call it colloquially, the horner man, said. And what stood out most to me is what the administrator of the page said. You all asked for evidence, so we're telling the husband to message us, and we will send the sex video to him. You understand? Because we want to give all the proof, because everybody come to ask us for evidence now. And I don't know if they understand that level of danger they're going to be putting people in. Even if they do have a recording of such a nature, you clearly are untrained to deal with scenarios like this. Sending it to a person who may not be aware of something like this taking place in the relationship may actually cause some harm or injury to be levied upon somebody else. The administrator even says in their comment as well when they're posting that they don't care who get licks. So when we are seeing things like this being posted, we must be fearful. And I'm not only saying this pertaining to women alone. It started off with men being posted. A number of men have made queries and have contacted us saying that this is untrue. I don't know this person. There was allegations that one person's lover was pregnant and actually ended up in the hospital after she read something that was totally untrue. So I'm really concerned. As you may realize, I've taken big breaths in between, and it's because I have been privy to people being harmed and injured, particularly when it comes off or spirals off of infidelity taking place, when it is legitimately so. More so, you can see it happening now if allegations are being made that are false, would make it even worse for somebody to be injured, maimed, or murdered for a false allegation. We've seen them now have to start pulling down persons' faces because they realize it was an angry woman who posted up the man, and it was an angry ex who posted up the man. And the thing is, this is careless and dangerous behavior. The careless part is one thing, but my fear is, and I am appealing to the good sense of this person, you will not feel good if somebody loses their life, or somebody is injured, or somebody is maimed based on the information you put on that Facebook page, whether it be man, whether it be woman, whether it be true, whether it be false.
Rhondall, I totally agree with you where this is concerned, but what are the steps can we take in terms of, because I don't know if this is legal to do this, and as you said, some of the information is very inaccurate, because I too have heard persons saying that I know persons personally who have said this is not true, and they've seen their photos on there and they've made a joke of it and thinking, how can I be there when this is not true? So we know that some of the information, of course, does not hold any truth to it at all. And so now we have this space, as you mentioned, it creates some measure of danger to persons who have been in relationships with persons, or who are even innocent persons, and as you mentioned, all sorts of things can happen. What steps can be taken now to, one, have these pages checked into to see the validity of them, or to have them removed, or even to change the type of content being posted on there? Because I'm trying to see what is the relevance of this type of page, and what can be done about it.
Definitely. I mean, for sure, one of the things is litigation. And the thing is, the only problem with litigation, you have to find who's the administrator of the page. And I don't know if they think that's hard to find, but I can guarantee them with the technology available, even to Trinidad and Tobago, through certain national security coalitions, they could find you. So, I mean, if it gets to that position and the person is identified, for sure, litigation. Once the person has broadcasted or rebroadcasted, they seem to fail to realize that part. False information that has defamed somebody, that person will be able to bring them up, I mean, for damages of whatever nature the court finds substantial. One. And two, I also know as well, certain state entities and national security entities are supposed to be able to get in contact with certain places like Facebook and Meta and these places. I know as well, even if it is through some of the collaborations through the Telecommunication Authority and these places, I know that they should have connect and contact the members of Meta and Facebook and these places that could have these pages taken down, because they can cause a risk. And I realized that when we spoke about it, a number of people, I don't know if they were connected to the page, but they seemed intimately connected to the page, started attacking us and started attacking me individually. But I want them to know I don't hate you, but you have to consider what you are doing. And there's only because I am so well experienced with seeing the end result of these things and why I'm cautioning these people of what this could lead to. This could lead to real bloodshed. Just last 2 weeks, a man was sentenced 13 years because he found out about infidelity during his wife's pregnancy. The child wasn't his child, and he lit the woman on fire. Because you need to understand these things, even when we are doing paternity testing for men, for them to identify if the legitimacy of their children, we don't do that without counsel, because we know these things can trigger negative reactions. So we have to be responsible with those things. The average person thinks that they automatically have the natural emotional intelligence to hear those things and weather the storm quite easily. I can tell you, it is not so easily done. So even if this person believes that they were doing something with the greatest and best intentions, possibly they were good, possibly they were cheated on, and they say, I don't want nobody to feel like this. Let me go out there and put that there. I am asking you respectfully, based on the experience that I have had and dealt with so many instances where it comes to murder, suicides, and these kind of things, and domestic violence, from whether it goes from the man to the woman or the woman to the man, the page that you may think that will assist may actually destroy lives. And then we have to be very careful particularly with those people who have evil intention to break up a couple, or a man and a woman now going to get married and another woman may want him. That is a real thing. And I told them before they started taking long pages, I told them that would happen. And they had to start taking posts off because they saw that people were maliciously doing that. And I'm even warning them again about the woman's page as well. There are many women who maliciously destroy other women's careers, they maliciously destroy other women's good name as well, you know. This calls for a greater level of individual responsibility. And I think you don't even need to go to the police if that person would act in the best concern of their nation.
Mr. Fields, I agree with what you are saying this morning, and from what you're saying, it sounds as if we are calling for a change in behavior, and to also take a social responsibility in terms of, you know, managing these pages. For whatever the reason is, as you might have, you know, speculated about, nobody really knows what the real cause of the page is. We just know what the name is, and we have seen the trend in terms of the content they have been posting. And so now a call is being made for a change in behavior and also to have a social responsibility, because as you mentioned, should somebody take some type of action where this is concerned, in their particular scenario, somebody posts something about them or somebody connected to them and they take some measure of action. Now we have another case on our hand as it relates to somebody's psychological state, their mental state. You made allusions to suicide and all sorts of domestic violence that can happen as a result. So you're saying that you're calling for change in behavior and for people to take a social responsibility where this is concerned.
Correct, definitely. And as I said, some people in the beginning may have interpreted this to be well-intended, not knowing or having the experience of where it could go or what it could lead to, thinking that, hey, we are exposing people for doing their wrongs. Let's do this. We will be helping people. Sometimes that's not it. You've heard me say here many a times as well, Adanna, that people sometimes even need help or counsel to not stay together. Sometimes apart, when they're trying to find a way apart from each other. Sometimes you need counsel to do that because it is so easily inflamed. It is so easy to strike a match and set the whole thing on fire. And that is my serious, serious concern with these things being passed along the way. And then so you're open up people to innocent, I mean, abuse, social media abuse. Adanna, you, me, anybody sitting anywhere, somebody could pick up a picture, post it up, and say something, and it could destroy whatever relationship you may have in your life. Innocently, what are you going to do then? You can't find comedy in that. There's no joy in that. There's no solution-driven base in that.
Absolutely correct. And so, you know, we really are treading on dangerous grounds here. And this morning, the call is being made for the administrators of these pages, you know, to have a social responsibility and review your intent and, of course, your content, as it can have adverse effects on the lives and livelihoods of people. Ladies and gentlemen, we've been speaking with Rhondall Fields, the president of the Fathers Association of Trinidad and Tobago, as it relates to cyberbullying, specifically two Facebook pages that have been launched in the recent past. Is this your man? Is this your woman? And we're hoping that the admins of these pages can take a check. You know, just check yourself, check and make sure that your intent is correct and that you line up with your social responsibility as somebody residing in Trinidad and Tobago. Thank you so much, Mr. Fields, for your contribution there this morning, for your thoughts and for your advice as well. We see your passion and we feel you and we understand where you are coming from. Ladies and gentlemen, this is where we end the morning show on Tobago Updates Television, but we don't end our programming here. We head on over to Tobago Notes and then on to GMT. But before we go, we must remind you about the town meeting being held by the Charlottesville Police District, which is taking place this evening at 7 p.m. at the Charlottesville Library Auditorium. So go out there, of course, and ensure that you get your voice heard. Ensure the police are aware of what you are hoping to see in your area. And also also tomorrow, town meeting is also for the Sherburne Police District is being held at the Mount Pleasant Community Center there also at 7 p.m. So go out and let your voice be heard. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we take it on over now to Tobago Notes and then on to GMT.